It's amazing how much stuff was wiped out basically this year. This year has been absolutely brutal. And of course it was a Shemitah year. And it ended with tons of things collapsing right on the end day of the Shemitah as well, including the British pound, which we're nowhere near done seeing finished. This is going to turn into a complete and total calamity in every way. And they bombed the Nord Stream pipelines, which effectively is the beginning of World War III on the end day of Shemitah. But it's amazing how much has been wiped out. It was actually $46 trillion wiped out in stocks and bonds. And they say it won't stop until central banks around the world launch a coordinated pivot, says the Bank of America. Yeah, it's amazing. Basically, it's bringing in worldwide communism under a one-world government. And as Satan Klaus said, they're using this scam to basically destroy the economies of pretty much every country on earth. And we saw that. How many businesses got shut down over the last 3 years? Like, so many. Like, nothing. There couldn't have almost been anything worse than the whole lockdown stuff for all these businesses. And now they're continuing to do that with basically all this energy crisis stuff. So in Europe, there's so many businesses. I'm going to get into that. It's incredible. They're basically, whatever survived the whole agenda, the whole psyop, the whole fraud, will probably get wiped out now by their second phase, which also includes basically hyperinflation. And it's all on purpose. And here's Satan Klaus. Someone asked him, you know, with your great reset that you're bringing in, the Fourth Reich Industrial Revolution, does that mean a lot of people will lose their jobs?
Is the Fourth Industrial Revolution a job destroyer or a job creator?
It is certainly short-term a job destroyer because one of the characteristics of the Fourth Industrial Revolution compared to the previous revolutions is the speed. It's like a tsunami.
Well, yes. Most people will lose all their jobs in our Great Reset, Fourth Reich Industrial Revolution. I like the reason he said, because it happens so fast. It's so fast. It's like a tsunami. It's just going to wipe everyone out. Well, you guys did all this stuff on purpose. And no one seems to notice. Interestingly, the United Nations, which is like one of the most evil organizations on earth, has come out and they say that all central banks should stop raising interest rates immediately. And not only that, they should put price controls on everything. So basically, communism. So they say that almost every country on earth is headed into not only a recession, but the greatest depression of all time. And they say it's because the interest rates are rising. Well, the interest rates are rising because all these governments and central banks printed up unbelievable amounts of money over the last few years, and actually over the last few decades, which we've been saying is going to lead to hyperinflation and complete collapse of the economy everywhere. And it's actually not the central banks, just so you know, who are raising interest rates. It's all just a show. It's the market that raises rates. All the Federal Reserve's done so far is follow the market. But no one knows this. Almost anyone who's like a stockbroker or an economist or anything don't know anything about how the money system works and how central banking works. It's all on purpose. So they're always like waiting, all surprised. I wonder what the Fed's going to do. Well, we already know the market already has moved the rates up. And why is the market moving the rates up? Because no one wants to hold a bond that pays 2% per year when inflation's 10 to 20% per year. You basically lose all of your money in terms of purchasing power in about 5 years. But very interestingly, the United Nations like, well, every country should put in price controls. Well, if you know anything about economics, price controls actually cause shortages and destroy the economy. And what is a price control? A price control is people with guns, called government, go out to people with businesses and tell them the price they should charge for things, like communism. And of course, they're going to say, well, you can't charge more than this much for gas, for example, at a gas station. Well, the gas station, if they can't make a profit, that means they're losing money. If they're losing money, the only thing that makes sense to do is to shut down. And so most businesses will just shut down, and that'll create even more of a supply problem, which will increase the real cost, the price, dramatically, and no one will be able to get any because there'll be no gas stations left. That's how it works. And that's what they're saying everyone should do now to stop this coming Great Depression, which is already here. But it's just incredible that how fast they're moving forward with all this stuff. And what kind of disasters there's going to be over the next few years if they do this stuff. I don't know if they're going to be able to do the price controls exactly. They already do to certain extents in many markets, especially in some of the most unfree countries on earth, like the United States, which is almost the least free country on earth at this point. And because of regulations and extortion called taxes and all kinds of things like that, they kind of already do, well, they're very heavily involved in the economy. Of course, people still use things like the dollar in the US, which is totally stupid. And that's run by the Federal Reserve. And so basically the entire economy, it's basically like a communist economy at this point, the US. It has like a little bit of capitalism left. That's what's still allowing it to stay a little bit alive, but not for much longer. But interestingly, this will also cause, if they do price controls all over the place, black markets, which they try to put like a bad name on it, right? That's why they call them black markets. Because people associate black with like bad. All it means is free markets, which means with that, it goes around all the criminals, which are governments, trying to extort and to force people to do things they don't want to do. But if they start doing these price controls, there's going to be fortunes to be made in black markets. And most of that trade, by the way, will be done with Monero and on things like the dark web, which is all the kind of stuff that we talk about. So there could be total fortunes to be made here, but most people are going to get totally wiped out.